Hello everyone, my name is Ninjabot, and welcome back to Minecraft. Today we're in the latest snapshot 20W45A, and we're going to be doing a quick overview of all the stuff that's been added. So the first thing I want to cover is copper. This is the naturally spawning form of it. It's going to be an ore. That's how you're going to find it in your world. It's going to be a little bit rarer than lapis, I believe, or maybe a little bit under. If you break it, of course, you're only going to get the ore. And I broke it really fast because I have haste. Just for demonstration purposes. And you're not going to get an ingot or any experience, but to do that, you have to smelt it up in a furnace, and then you'll get ingots, and then the experience from the furnace. So what you can do with the copper you just smelted up is use 9 of it to make a copper block. And once you make a copper block, you could either use it as decoration, or you could use 4 of that in a square to make cut copper. And with cut copper, you can make stairs, like the normal stairs recipe. I'm assuming you know it. And also with cut copper, you can make cut copper slabs, just 3 across. And if you leave it out for extended periods of time, it can get slowly more and more oxidized. So this is like the first stage of oxidation, second stage, and the final stage. So it's like lightly weathered, semi-weathered, and weathered copper. Now, there is a way to freeze it in any of these forms. If you like this one, if you like that one, if you like that one, or if you like that one. What you can do is if you take wax and then combine it with one of your normal blocks, you can get waxed copper. And waxed copper has the same exact texture as normal copper. So if you look at it, it's the exact same, so that it will have the exact same look, and you can still get it in that same form that you like. Now, another thing you can make with copper is you can make a lightning rod with just 3 ingots like that. And what this lightning rod will do is it'll attract lightning in a nearby area to it. So if you have, I believe it's only a 16 by 16 area, so just about a chunk. It'll attract any lightning to it. So if you want to make a charged creeper farm, or if you want not for your things to burn down, then this will attract the lightning instead of it hitting like your house made out of wood. So now the next thing I want to cover is the amethyst geodes and the amethyst crystals that come with it. So first, real quick, I'm gonna find an amethyst geode. I looked previously, and I believe there's one right here. So, the amethyst geodes spawn with this outer layer of tough. Let me turn back. This tough stuff is the outer layer, and then on the inner layer, there is calcite, or calcite, I believe it is. And then one layer more is the actual blocks of amethyst. And if you break through, you can actually see that there's like a double layer of amethyst, then a double layer of calcite, and then 1 layer of tough. And now, I have the random tick speed set quite high so you can see this. These budding amethyst blocks are what make these crystals. So you can't actually break these, because if you break them in survival mode, they just break. And they drop the amethyst shards. And if you break these, they also drop the amethyst shards. And you want to leave these if you want to make a farm. So you can break all of these blocks here, just not the budding amethyst things. And they have 4 different growth stages. They're not... or 4 different blocks, not even growth stages, that they are. And they'll grow slowly if there's enough tick speed or enough time, into amethyst, the fully grown amethyst crystals. So then you can just break them, and then get a ton of amethyst shards, like that. So, one of the things that you can make right now with amethyst shards is tinted glass. So how you do that is you just take amethyst and put it on all the edges of glass, and then you get 2 tinted glass. And what tinted glass does, actually, does not let light through. So if I go over, like, to here, and I go like this, and I look at this wall, it's completely dark. Now, if you look over here, it's light because you're seeing the light, from the outside world that's actually illuminating the outside. But, inside there is actually completely dark. Another thing that you can do is make a spyglass with 1 amethyst shard and then 2 copper ingots. And what the spyglass does is allows you to zoom, and it has a quite nice little scrolling sound. Unfortunately, you can't, like, use the spyglass when you're not holding it, so you have to hold it. And you can use it offhand while holding something, though. So if you wanted to hold, like, a sword or something like that and zoom in, or a bow and zoom in to get a better shot, you can do that. It's a little... It has a quite far of a zoom. And it has... The only thing I don't like about it is the round texture around it. It looks a little too placeholder and, like, jagged. But otherwise, the actual texture on the item is quite nice. Now, moving on from the amethyst, they added another use for the honeycomb thing. So if you go into your inventory, you can do it in your inventory, you can actually see that you can make a candle if you have wax and 1 string. 1 wax and 1 string makes a candle. I'm going to make 2 for the purposes that I have. And if you just add 1 dye to it, you can dye said candle. Now, you can place these on the ground. Unfortunately, you can't place them in the same block. If you try to, it'll just place on the next to the block. But you can also place multiple on the same block, just kind of like sea pickles, and they're at different heights and everything. Now, you may be thinking that it's kind of useless to have a candle that doesn't light, and that's why they made it so you can. Now, if you look at it, the light source is actually quite small at the minute. But if you add, the more you add, the bigger the light source gets. So, and also, it comes in all the different colors that you can dye it. So, that's a pretty large red light source right now. And you can do it all the different colors. And this is quite good for building. As a person who enjoys building, especially medieval, a lot, this is going to be really helpful. Another thing that you can do with the candles is you can put 1 on a cake. But don't shift click, because that doesn't actually put it on the cake. If you place it on the cake, you can put 1 on the cake and light it. And it actually illuminates the cake quite a bit. Now, I'm going to take away my saturation and give myself hunger for 1 second, 255. So I can show you that didn't work. Alright, so I couldn't seem to make myself hungry, so I'll just explain it. So well, I found a glitch. If you right-click the cake and it cuts out a slice, it's supposed to pop off the candle. But apparently, it just duplicates the candles. Well, that's interesting. Infinite candles, I guess? Okay, anyway, moving on to the next item. So, the last item that we're actually going to do, but not least, is the bundle. This thing is going to be really helpful for early game and a little bit of middle game and maybe a little bit of end game. It can carry a bunch of different items. As you see there, if my inventory's full with a bunch of items I just went mining, I can put them all into 1 slot in a bunch of variations. Now, I believe you can... Okay, so you cannot put a full bundle inside a bundle. If you right-click, it removes all the stuff. But you can put an empty bundle inside a bundle with all this other stuff. It seems that you can put a bundle with something inside of it inside the bundle. If we don't put a full bundle, and then we consume it with this bundle, there's a bundle with a bundle in it, and... It takes the value of the bundle and contributes it to itself. So if this is mostly full, That's actually quite intuitive. So that's what bundles do. They're going to be quite useful. The only problem is you make bundles with rabbit hide, and killing rabbits is going to be quite a pain to do, I feel. Now, one of the final things that I'm going to cover is the addition of putting lava inside of cauldrons. I just want to test something. Can you burn in this? I would assume so. Also, listen. Can you take it out? That's water noises for the cauldron, and I'm assuming you should burn in this. You burn in it. Ow. Alright, so despite the water noises, it seems to mostly work. What if you break it with the... Okay, the lava just disappears. Now, I don't quite see the use for being able to put lava in a cauldron, although it might be an interesting building technique. Let's move on, though. Now, the last thing in game that I'm going to go over real quick is the addition of being able to put rails underwater and ride them and power them. So, the only problem you're going to run into here is drowning. But with my quick thing that I set up here, drowning is not a problem because you go through it too fast. This is going to be really cool for doing, like, underwater railways and stuff. But that's basically it for it. It's not much. Alright, so the last thing that I want to cover real quick is the addition to Shulkers, where if a Shulker bullet hits another Shulker, it will duplicate the Shulker when it teleports. I'm probably not going to be able to replicate it here. Well, that one actually hit it, but it duplicated it. But yeah, that's basically all that's in this update. It wasn't a very large one. We didn't get any cave generation. Ow. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want, you can subscribe to see more of the updates on the new snapshot. And I'll see you next time. Can I zoom with this? No, not really. So, bye.